So I have a few minutes here to sit at my desk kind of quietly, and I have on my handy dandy priorities list that I want to make 1 or 2 YouTube videos. So I figured now might be a nice time. I feel like I have some creative energy left over. I started a project that went south. So I wanted to save as much paper as I could. And I've been working on making these books. So I thought that these little pieces of paper might come in handy to make little book plates or just as scraps. And I've also been experimenting a little bit with my New Windsor and Newton watercolors, and I recently got my Horadam Aquarelle Desert Green by Schminke. I researched it for a while before I bought it because it's not that cheap. But anyway, I've just been kind of mixing different colors and doing a whole bunch of different swatches of things. I can show you in this book, my watercolor book. I did a whole bunch of swatches here, just of mixing different colors and seeing what I could make just from the 3 primary colors. And then again, I kind of was getting to know my new Gansai Tambi paints from Choosing Keeping in pastels and in the shadows. And then I've also been playing around a bit in my black sketchbook, which I did the cover of. I'm quite pleased with how that came out, but I've been just kind of playing around with the pastel Gansai Tambis, and also with my acrylic markers, some metallics, and just kind of doing some swatching, I guess, seeing how the different paints show up on different papers and different colors and mixing different things. So I thought that I would kind of just start, some people say you can start with a dirty palette, so that is kind of what I'm doing here. Just kind of gonna see what comes up of it, I guess, what colors kind of come out of it, and I don't know, just do some shapes or do some kind of background esque paintings to see how we go. I really didn't want to waste the paper. My idea was to do a tree of life, which I drew out, measured all the lines, and then when I was making my book, I forgot that that piece of paper was underneath, and I pierced a hole in the book to put an elastic cord for a closure, and it went right through the paper. So that was when I realized that I'm gonna have to start that one all over again, which is a little bit annoying, but par for the course, as they say. I'm gonna switch to a little bit of a bigger paintbrush with a little bit more better. And again, this is the Fabriano 1264 paper. It is not watercolor paper, so sometimes it buckles a little bit, and I can see here that it is starting to peel a little bit, so I gotta go easy on the water. I found that these 3 primary colors make some really good oranges. They make some nice muted colors, which I really like. They all go well together, which has been kind of nice. I wasn't sure if they were gonna work or how it was gonna be. They also do make some nice they make some nice greens, which is nice. But it's kind of cool how you can just get so many colors from just 3 colors. I've been watching some videos on like color wheels and color mixing, and so I've definitely learned quite a bit from that. I think sometimes I just paint when I'm overwhelmed. Really, there's like a million other things that I should be doing or could be doing, but sometimes it's just so like soothing to just sit at my desk with my headphones on and not really pay very much attention to anything at all. My idea for these guys is maybe to do some lino prints on top of them. I have a few that I think would fit this size, so I'm gonna keep them relatively simple just because I'm probably gonna be doing something on top of them. I will now do the schminke, which is like just such a cool, I mean, the way it granulates is pretty amazing. Like you can just see the separation of like this green and this like magenta, and I find it like just really fun to watch. I haven't actually tried adding other colors to it, so that's what I'm about to do right now. And again, I'm just really doing like very simple squigglies and scribbles because I'm gonna be doing something else with that. I quite like that. Yeah, you can see the granulation, and I think that that's super cool. Okay. A better swatch just to show you of the super granulating desert green. I don't know if you can see here, the lighting isn't great, but I think they came out really cool, especially with the orange in there. It's like, I don't know, I like the granulating color. I probably am being a little stingy with the paint, but I can't help it. It was like $20 for a small tube of paint, so I'm trying to be careful with it. liked the way that this looked with orange. So I think I'm gonna continue on that kind of front and just do some more orange marks. I'm quite a big fan of the maroon color. I think it's really nice. And these are obviously a little bit watered down. I don't know. I'm waiting for a new set of, it's like a full set of 20 colors that I got from Dick Blick. The Winsor & Newton Cotman series. So I'm waiting to get those, and then maybe I'll be less precious about the watercolors, because right now I'm like, oh my god, I only have 3 tubes. Like, should I whip them out? Should I use them? Should I just keep them? Like, what should I do? So, and like, obviously I'm not some like super fancy painter like at all, but I hope that these things will come to good use when I put them into my scrap pile, or to use for other kinds of little projects. Right. I'm gonna try this one wet on wet. Sorry, just hit the camera, obviously. I can always go and ink the edges, so I'm just gonna leave that one as it is. I think that's quite cute. So I finished those ones, and now eventually I'm gonna have to go back and redo this whole pencil drawing. But I guess for right now, maybe I'll just swatch out the clear colors, like the pure colors. So that's the red. That's the yellow. The blue is like a lot lighter than I thought it was gonna be. Like I thought it was gonna be so much cheaper than this, and also it's been different, like looking at the translucency of the different paints. So like these are very translucent, and the Ganzai Tambi, I guess it's more of like a, I don't know, it's just a much more opaque kind of paint. And I mean, I really like using the Ganzai Tambi, but just like as an example, I mean, the colors are just so saturated, and it gets even darker than that. This is like a light wash almost of this paint. This one I think is such an amazing color. This one. I mean, look at that color. Like there is translucency, but there's this like opacity, I feel like, that the watercolors from Winsor & Newton just like don't have the same consistency. I'll show you the shadow green, which is such a cool color. I mean, really. And I was like super nervous when I bought these that there were gonna be like repeats of the colors from my Art Nouveau set, and there aren't. So even this one, which is like similar to Billiard Green and similar to Green Gray, I'll show you, it's just like not the same color. So I thought that this desk is like so small, smaller than what I need. I hope you can still see. So I thought it was like gonna be like this green gray, but you can see how different the undertones here are. And then I was like, okay, well maybe it looks kind of like the shadow green, and this is the shadow green. And even though like at first glance it's like, oh, that's kind of similar, you can see how much bluer this one is, like greener. I love these colors. I was like, yeah, and then Billiard Green, for example, which is also a beautiful color. Just painted my bathroom this color. It's just like a much brighter, so very, very different colors. And then just for good measure, we'll do this color, pea green, which I never really was like, I was like, I don't really like this color, but now I'm like, I kind of like this color. Anyway, like a whole bunch of different colors. I'm gonna have to do where I swatch out all of my watercolors in one go, but now is not that time, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.